welcome to the cottage. I am Babs of Cottage Rogue, and welcome to my 2026 goals and plans video here on the first of a brand new year. I am so excited for this year. I do have some plans and ideas, some that are still ruminating a bit, but they will become fleshed out later. And of course, you know, I will share that at that time for those particular ones. But I do have some solid plans right now. For those of you who are new, welcome on in. This is my floss tube that's predominantly about cross stitch, although I will throw in some other crafts every once in a while. Mostly cross stitch though. You know, something else that I plan to do, hopefully in 2026 this year, is to do a giveaway. Not just any giveaway, a special giveaway for when we hit 500 subscribers. Currently, we're at 364. So to all of you subscribed, thank you so much for doing so. I can't do this without you. And I appreciate each and every one of you and all of your comments and interactions and insights into what I am working on. And to you new viewers, welcome on in. I'm so happy that you are here. I hope you enjoy what you're seeing, and that if any of my plans that I'm going to talk about sound interesting to you, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Before I get too far, I beseech you, please go over to my fantasy floss and vote. So my biggest plan for this year is to have a 2026 focus piece. And what I've been doing the month of December is having a bracket, you know, like fantasy football, but I called it fantasy floss. So you'd want the most recent video and vote. There's 3 ways you can vote: on the YouTube comments, YouTube posts, and I do put out YouTube short as well. So that way everyone gets 3 votes, which I am so excited for. I really want to bring up and show off this BAP piece to you. And I want to do one that not only I enjoy, but also you enjoy seeing, because you're going to see it a lot. Ultimately. So please go and vote. We are in the semifinals right now. Probably tomorrow on the 2nd or the following day on the 3rd will the finals video come up as well. So it's really exciting. I can't wait. But make sure you go ahead and go and vote. Well, now that we've discussed that, let's go ahead and move on with the rest of our plans. So I first want to talk about WIPGO. So Jessie Marie Does Stuff is the creator of WIPGO, and I'm going to make a few changes from my previous years. I technically have not completed a WIPGO ever. So, and I've done it for the past 2 years. So I'm doing something a little different. What is the same is that I'll still do the 5x5 grid, still do 1 through 25 in numerical order. So 13 will be that's, you know, center square. But what I'm going to do is I've chosen categories instead of specific pieces. So, or specific whips to do. So that way I'm not stuck doing a Halloween piece in the middle of April, because I tend to prefer to stitch pieces that are around a theme and or be more seasonal with them, which is, you know, a theme in and of itself. So that's my thing. This should help a lot with that. And then also this year, I do want to whip down my older whips. Now, when I say older whips, I'm talking about whips from 2005 and earlier. So I have a whole bunch of them, which you will see once my whip parade goes up. So I just want to finish those, or decide if I'm going to keep them or not, maybe just stash them. And then that way I can move on with my more current whips and, you know, work on things that are new and fresh and exciting. So I'm really excited to work on this WIPGO. I did pull out a very, very old, like, bullet journal type thing. This is old. You know how old this is? I have not written in it at all whatsoever. And the yearly calendar starts at 2017. I've had this a while. So another goal for 2026 is that I'm going to start using things instead of hoarding them. So, and books, I tend to, I have a lot of books, and because I love them. And journals count. So I need to use up my journals that I have and enjoy them. And so that's what I'm doing. I generally don't write things down very often. I usually use digital ways. And so I feel like writing down and creating my WIPGO board will make me just more present and, you know, just more aware of what I'm doing at the time. So I don't know. And plus I think it'd be fun and I can make it pretty, and then I can use all those stickers that when I started my sticker collection when I was a child. So that is my thoughts. I'm going to start using things in 2026. So I guess that would be a New Year's resolution now, wouldn't it? So the categories I have decided. So for number 1, I've chosen seasonal. So whatever season I happen to be in, I'm going to choose a seasonal piece. So if it's, you know, January, February, March, a winter piece. If it's December, probably a Christmas piece. October, probably a Halloween piece. July could be either a Christmas piece because of Christmas in July, or a summer piece. Probably summer piece this year. We'll see. But yeah, seasonal for number 1. Number 2 would be people. So any piece that I have that has a person or multiple people in it. And this could be the full figure, it could be a silhouette, it could be an arm. You know, anything to do with people. And then number 3, I put vintage. Now this doesn't necessarily mean vintage projects. I am calling my projects specifically that are 2005 and earlier vintage. By the way, that does include the horse that my husband, back when we were dating, that horse pattern that I have. So you will be seeing that more often. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you should check out some of my thumbnails from last year because wow, it is fire. Number 4, it'll be any stitch along that I'm currently working on, or that, you know, any stitch along WIP where the stitch along is already passed and I need to finish it because I haven't finished a stitch along yet in the time allotted. And maybe I'm doing too many things or whatever. I enjoy them immensely. But these are stitch alongs that I have that are WIPs that I need to finish. So I love that, because I feel like I could, you know, choose a piece and work on it, and then I could choose another piece for that month for a stitch along and work on it. And oh yeah, one thing is I'll need to work on these WIPGO pieces 5 days, at least 5 days during the month. Any number of stitches, it could be 1 stitch, but I just need to pick them up and put stitches in it over 5 separate days. I have something else that will help me with that. But moving on, number 5 will be any full coverage piece. If you have been noticing my Flosstube or fantasy Flosstubes, you know I have a lot of full coverages, and 4 of them already have been started. So I have no excuse, absolutely no excuse at all, to not work on a full coverage piece. So that's number 5. Number 6 would be any kit. I have a whole bunch of kits. I love working off kits. In fact, I got one for Christmas and I'm so excited for it. And you know what? I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you. So my mother-in-law got me this adorable kit. By the way, it's called He's a Fun Guy. It is a Bothy Threads kit. Look at how cute. Oh my God, I love this so much. And it's super nice. Like, you know, Bothy Threads makes a really nice kit. You know, you open it up and it's got like everything all nicely in there. We have like the threads, the fabric is right behind it. And the fabric, yeah, it's like on the threads, but look at, it's spotted. If this was just white Ada, I probably would have used my own fabric, but because it's spotted like this, it's too perfect. So, and I think they know that. So we have this beautiful kit. Ever since Adelaide Stitches worked on her own Bothy Threads project, I believe it was a bunch of dogs, I have been wanting to get my hands on one of these. My mother-in-law did not know that, by the way. She had no idea how good of a job she did. I didn't even ask for this specific thing. I think my husband mentioned cottage core and she looked it up. So this is perfect. And she also knows I love mushrooms as well. And while we're on that task, she also got me a couple of Needleminders because she knows I love them. One of them is from the Lady K, and I believe it's this one. It says, it's okay if you don't like cross stitch. It's kind of a smart people hobby anyway. So here, let me cover my face here. There you go. Isn't that awesome? I love it. It's got a bit of sass to it. It's fantastic. And then the other one which I'm not sure who the designer is for this, or designer, the creator of this is, but it says cute little mouse, which of course I will be using this Needleminder for my He's a Fun Guy kit. My brand new Bothy Threads kit is gonna be fantastic. So yeah, so whenever that gets pulled, then I will, well, let's be honest, I'm gonna start this kit today, but but it could be one of my options for when number 6 kit gets pulled. So number 7 is going to be animal. So I have a load of patterns with animals in them. I love animals. They're so soft and fluffy and cute and cottagecore-esque. So that's what I'm going to do. Animals. Number 8 would be embroidery. So remember when I said this channel is predominantly about cross stitch? Well, I learned how to embroider last year, or a year and a half ago. And I have a few embroidery samplers and also an embroidery project that I really need to work on. And then I also have like a separate book that talks about thread painting, which I adore this book. I absolutely adore it. So when I get to the point that I'm ready to start trying out some thread painting, I will bring that back to your attention at that time. But yes, so I have embroidery for 8. Number 9 would be any sampler. I just left it right open-ended. I have a bunch of samplers. I enjoy them. They may not always have alphabets, but you know, a sampler's a sampler. I love it. Number 10 would be any piece that I have adopted, and this would include any pieces that were destashed from someone else, or I found at a like a store. Like we have a store called Creative Exchange, where you can drop off any of your craft stuff that you're no longer needing to use. And this is everything from, you know, yarn, leftover yarn, to cross-stitch projects, to bits of wood, you know, markers, just anything you can think of. It could be sequins, anything you can think of where you could create a project, a crafty project out of, they have. And then you can usually get a discount. So if you only need like 3 buttons, you can go there and search through their buttons. But they have a decent sized cross stitch section there. And I have found a couple of cross stitch projects that were partially done and then someone had destashed. So I do have some choices. I think I have at least 6 or 7 of them. I also have one where my mother-in-law gave to me, from where it would have been my father-in-law's sister would have started it. So yeah, so I have some fun options there. So that would be for adopted. Number 11 would be adventure. So this would be any cross-stitch piece where you get the sense of adventure. I recently finished one called The End by Bad Stitch, where it showed a skeleton with a sword in it, which, you know, I love that story. Definitely that character had an adventure. There's also other ones where you could see like trails, you know, going through like a scenic trail. You know, I would count that as adventure. Or if there's someone like scuba diving under the sea, that would be an adventure. So, or space, you know, adventure. It's a very broad term, and I'm going to take that as such, and we'll go from there when that number gets called. Number 12 is scenic. So this would be any fantastic scene. And there's so many cross-stitch projects with beautiful scenes or scenery. I love it. I would also argue that, you know, if there is like a theater with a play production, that could be considered a scene as well. So when that number gets called, we will see what I have in my stash. 13, the middle square, I'm not going to do a cross-stitch project. However, I will go ahead and FFO cross-stitch projects. So I'm starting to get a little bit of a collection of projects that need to be fully finished. So this will help me fully finish those projects, which will be great. And then maybe this year we will get number 13 before the month of December. Number 14 would be mythos. So anything to do with myths. My Ragnarok by Long Dog Sampler would fall under this category, for example. And I do have other ones as well. Another one that comes to mind would be Leshy by the Witchy Stitcher, for example. So mythos. Number 15, food. You know how many samplers have a bowl of cherries or a bowl of berries? So anything with food in it. A while back, and when I say a while back, I'm talking about December of 2024, I had made and gifted a piece to my brother for Christmas that I lovingly call the Ramen Wave. And it combined a bowl of ramen noodles with that famous Japanese painting with the wave and the ships and all that. And it was utterly fantastic, and I love that piece to this day. If I have a picture of it, I'll go ahead and put that in here of my finished product. So yeah, I really enjoy food. In fact, I've seen the runner stitcher do a stack of pancakes before. I'm like, it's so fantastic. And then also I really love the kinds of food that you would put, like, hang up in your kitchen. So like tomatoes or lemons or apples, you know, something like that. There's so many good food cross stitches. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw that in there for 15. Now 16 will be a new start, anything at all. So whatever floats my boat at that point, that's what I'm gonna do. And I have plenty of patterns, so many patterns and kits that I could do new starts from. So the world is my oyster there. 17 will be anything that has to do with gaming. This could be tabletop board games. It could be card games. It could be a video games. It could be just a controller that's in a pattern. You know, anything to do with gaming for number 17. And then 18, now this one is interesting because I already have animals, but specifically for number 18, insects. I have somehow acquired a bunch of patterns with insects. And I know, like, for example, Bad Stitch is currently doing for her monthly Patreon, just an insect month. And they're so cool. So, and that's not the only, I have other larger patterns that are insects as well. One of them is fully kitted. So I'm excited to bring that stuff out. And then I'll have to see if I have any whips that have insects in them already. You know, bees count, and I love bees. So, you know. And then I start repeating. So 21 will be another vintage, which again was patterns and whips that are, not patterns and whips, just whips that are older than like 2005 and older. 21 would be another stitch along. 22 would be another kit. 23 would be full coverage piece. 24, another embroidery. And 25, another adopted. Now for this month, the month of January, Jessie Marie Does Stuff went ahead and pulled the numbers 2 and 7. So number 2 is People, which I had chosen Winter Bonfire Night. And again, we'll have 5 days that I will absolutely need to stitch on Winter Bonfire Night, which is fantastic. It has over 500,000 stitches, and I really need to get working on it. And then number 7, which is Animal. So of course I am going to do he's a fun guy right here. So yes, I will be starting this today on January 1st, 2026. We have the cute little mouse right there. It's so adorable. So adorable. Oh my God. So, and then I actually made a page for WIPGO. It's a little bit shadowy here. But you could see I put them in. I've highlighted the numbers. And then down here at the bottom, I have gone ahead and put the numbers in the order that they were called. Yes, it did happen to be 2, then 7. And, you know, I'm not going to only work on number 2 first and then work on number 7. No, I'm going to do what the wind wants me to do and go where it takes me. So I'm very excited for that. And then also on the previous page right here, this is where I'm going to put finishes. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to lay this out yet. I know last year I had quite a few finishes, but not more than what one page will do. So, you know, that works. That totally works. I'm happy with this spread right now. Ultimately, what I also want to do, because there's like 3 of these things in here, I want to put a comprehensive list of my patterns that I own, that I have not stitched, and then also my current whips. So that will probably take a while. It's part of the reason why I'm doing the whip parade, which I'm actually going to record that today. And then it'll come out as soon as I can get it out, hopefully this weekend, since I will have a couple more days, and do that. And then also, one thing I did, okay, this comes with this like amazing ruler right here. Look at this. This is utterly here we go. Hold on. This is fantastic because it has these little shapes. So I actually do have like a miniature square here. And that is how I got those beautiful little teeny tiny little baby squares here on this graph. Like right there. So I'm actually having a lot of fun with this. And yeah, stickers are going to come into play because I wasn't joking about my collection. I have so many stickers and a lot of them are really old, and I have already started the process of putting stickers like on my water bottle and stuff like that. So that way I can enjoy them throughout the day, because I do enjoy them. I don't want to collect them and shove them in a box. Same thing with my books. I'm sure my TBR book pile is huge. It's utterly huge, and that's physical books and not just my digital. So, you know, that's the thing. So that was WIPGO with a few asides. And those are my WIPGO plans. A couple other things, I did write down a list. But a couple other things I'm going to do is a Flosstube frenzy. I am so excited for this. So I follow Alchemist Stitcher. Flosstube Frenzy is her brainchild. The name came later. I don't know who named it, but her concept came first. And what the concept is that you have a project, you have Flosstubers that you like to watch, you assign a project per Flosstuber that you watch, and then anytime they create a Flosstube and upload it and you watch it, then you do a certain number of stitches on a project, so to speak. And that's where it started. It's really exciting. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to do it a little bit differently. I'm not going to put a stitch count. What I'm going to do is one of two things, because obviously it depends on the length of the video. And some videos are an hour long and some are 15 minutes. So I'm going to give myself two options. I'm either going to at least finish a strand of floss during the video, or I'm going to just stitch till the video ends. So that way, if it's a 15-minute video and I still have more to stitch, like I haven't finished my strand, I can at least finish a strand. If it's an hour or 2 hour long video, then I'll just keep stitching until the end of that video, and I'll just stitch while I watch it. So that's my plan. So I will do whichever is greater. And then I also won't feel like stuck or pigeonholed into I have to do 200 stitches or I have to do 100 stitches for every video or that sort of thing. I'm going to do my best with whatever is greater, but I'm also going to give myself grace as long as I work on it. Because I have so many Flosstubers that I enjoy watching, and some of them do weekly videos and some of them do videos like maybe once a month or maybe once every 2 months. And so I've kind of categorized them, and I think I can make this work, but if I can't, I reserve the right to make changes down the road. But for my Flosstube Frenzy, these are the individuals that I will be watching and I have assigned projects to. Now, I didn't assign specific projects to all of them. Some of them I assigned designers. Some of them I assigned themes. So we have Crafty Gaming Jamie. I love saying her name. Crafty Gaming Jamie. There we go. And for her, I'm going to focus on WIPGOs. So she does weekly videos usually, and she does WIPGOs in various forms throughout the years. So we're doing WIPGOs. For Adelaide Stitches, which I found out was actually my most watched, like per number of videos, Flosstuber in 2025, because she puts out a lot of videos. She does a lot of challenges where she will stitch and produce daily videos, which is amazing. I couldn't do that. I mean, I could do that if I wasn't working, but I work a full-time job and I have a lot of hobbies. And yeah, so. But for Adelaide Stitches, she does a lot of TinyModernist, so I'm going to assign TinyModernist to her. I have a lot of TinyModernist patterns. And then we have the Runner Stitcher, and he does a lot of Fancy Ladies, so I'm going to do Fancy Ladies. And then we have Stewart in Stitches. His videos are always on Sundays. So for him, I will stitch a BAP, aka Big Ass Project. So he does a lot of full coverage. He does some non-full coverage things too, but a lot of his projects are pretty large. So, which is amazing. And then also, of course, we have the Alchemist Stitcher. So for her, I will do the Pumpkin Spice Cottage. It's a GeckoRouge kit. It's by Kate Brazier. Alchemist Stitcher is also stitching Pumpkin Spice Cottage. She's the one that got me into it and convinced me to go ahead and get a GeckoRouge kit. So this is my first one and I love it so far and I need to do more. I started in the upper left-hand corner, which was all dark blue sky, and I really want to get to the moon. So soon, there's a beautiful full moon on it. I love it. Then we have GeckoRouge podcasted. She also does Pumpkin Spice Cottage, but for her, I'm going to do Ragnarok by Long Dog Sampler because she also stitches on Ragnarok. So it's kind of fun. I love stitching on things where other Flosstubers are stitching on them at the same time, or even have in the past. For example, Crafty Gamey Jamie just finished her Autumn Harmony at the tail end of 2025, which is amazing. Congratulations. I bought Autumn Harmony like 2 years ago when I first discovered Flosstube and Crafty Gamey Jamie. And have I started on it? No. No, I have not, but soon I will do that. But anyways, yeah. So Ragnarok for her. And then the Sleepy Stitcher, Winter Bonfire Night, because she's also doing Winter Bonfire Night. She's also further along than I am. Do I expect to catch up? No, not at all. But just the fact that I'll be pulling it out and putting stitches into it means I will get to that one a lot sooner. And that one has just over 500,000 stitches. So it's going to take a long time. Then we have Dances with Floss, which I have chosen the designer TheArtsyHousewife. I have a lot of TheArtsyHousewife projects, and I know that Cass with Dances with Floss does a lot of TheArtsyHousewife projects, and I know that Tanya has done some of them as well because she likes cats. So I figure we'll have cats for Tanya and birds for Cass. And TheArtsyHousewife does both, so that really works out. We'll also do Enfys. And for her, we'll do Bad Stitch patterns. So with Bad Stitch Designer, I have so many of Bad Stitch ones. It's fantastic. So I'm very excited for that. Then there's also Rose Crafty Corner. So this is one that I will choose to do my vintage like patterns and kits. So before 2005 and before, which are the ones that I've been wanting to clean up. So it would be good for me to assign that to someone. For sure. And also I see the ladies on Rose Crafty Corner do a lot of similar patterns to the ones that I had from back then. So it should be a fun time. I'm looking forward to it. And then we have Britches Get Stitches for stitch-alongs, I've decided. So any stitch-alongs that I have that I either start or haven't finished, well, there you go. I have a Flosstuber that I can do that for. And then we're getting down, like I had 15 of Flosstubers and I couldn't decide. So cross stitching Cambria, I have decided for the 20-sided Dice Fairy. I love his stuff. I love how edgy he is. And I feel that 20-sided Dice Fairy. So this is by Jasmine Becket-Griffith, charted by UnconventionalXStitch. She's very edgy and she loves gaming and she has a dragon. So I think she's perfect. And Cam the Stitcher, I love Cam. She was one of the first Flosstubers that I discovered as well. So for her, we'll do samplers. And I love a good sampler. So good. And I have a variety of them in all different styles. And I've seen Cam do all the different styles. So love it. Witchy Stitchy Bee, I decided to go with a different theme, like more bees and shrooms. Essentially cottagecore. But gotta love the bees and shrooms. And then, of course, we have to have Thread Gremlins. So for Thread Gremlins, I'm going to do any Jessica Doize pattern, aka JedXStitch. I have quite a collection of them now, and some of them I've started. One I've started, and one I have a planned start to do in March equinox, which will tie me into a seasonal stitch along that I will be doing with Tanya from Dances with Floss. We're going to start at the March equinox, and we will be working on Jessica Doize's seeds, seasonal pieces. So winter seeds, spring seeds, summer seeds, fall seeds. We're gonna start with spring seeds. And I love it because I love the gaming reference in it, and they're so pretty. And I'll probably end up doing all 4 seasons together in like one long piece together, which I'm kind of excited for. So I'll have to start kitting that up, but that won't be until March. Also, today I'm starting my temperature cross stitch. And this temperature cross stitch is called Magic Potions, and it's by TeenyWeenyXStitch. I bought this in 2022, I believe, or 2023. And it is basically a shelf full of potions. And I love it. I have been gathering the floss and everything. I still need one floss that I missed because I thought I had it, but I was off by 1 number. So that's fine. And I am really excited because they look really cool. So for each of the bottles, like depending on the size, it could have 2 through 4 different floss colors to make it so that the glass actually looks like glass of the bottle. And the shading is impeccable. It's really cool. And they provided 7 different groups of 4 to go with the colors of the rainbow Roy G. Biv. And I have added another 3 or 4 because here where I live, I'm in the state of Iowa. We have a huge range of temperatures. We can get anywhere in the negative numbers in Fahrenheit to 100 or more as highs. And I'm going to focus the bottles using the highs. And I'm going to put, as part of the stopper, if it looks okay, I'm going to put whatever the low temperature was. So that's probably only like 3 stitches, but it's fine because I want to know. And I think that would work the best way. So, and I have the fabric and everything like that. I will go into that more once I actually start stitching on it, but I'm really excited for this temperature cross stitch, something that I can work on the whole year. And I guess technically it used to be a SAL back in 2023, so I could stitch on it for the SAL and stuff like that, at least until the framing is all done, and then do the daily stitching on that. I'm very excited about it. Then there's also a bunch of like games. So the first game that I'll probably end up doing will be in February. It's called Stitch the Winter Olympics. And it's by the Naptime Stitcher on Instagram. And it's so fun. What it is if I have a picture, I'll throw it up for you. And the Naptime Stitcher has designated cross-stitch challenge for each day of the Winter Olympics based on what's happening. So like the opening ceremony, for example, you know, you would work on either a new start or a project you started this year. And so on and so forth, depending on what the Winter Olympics is doing on that specific day. And I loved it. The Naptime Stitcher did this 2 years ago during the Summer Olympics with the Stitch the Summer Olympics. And I had a ball right there. I pulled out a kit that I hadn't started yet. That was, you know, prior to 2005. And it had like, you know, it was like a sandy beach type thing. And it was so much fun. It was amazing. And I was able to pull out a lot of projects I normally didn't work on. So February, that's what I'm going to do. February is also my birthday month. So you'll be seeing my birthday sampler that I have chosen, and actually will probably end up restarting on a different fabric. So I'll go more into that probably in February. And then of course the other games like the Great British Bake Off in September, I had a blast. I want to start that though, like on the first episode, and it's like the first week instead of week 4 like I did in 25. So that is my goal. So I want to get that and start that as of the first episode. And then let me see, was there anything else that I had? Okay, no other games at this point. I'll probably end up doing Christmas in July because that was fun, but I also want to do Shark Week. There is a shark sampler that's like a Christmas shark sampler that, you know, I have been eyeing for like 2-3 years. So I'll probably end up getting that and working on it. So that way I can have a Christmas in July and a Shark Week thing. So, you know, But those are my plans. Ultimately, those are my plans for 2026. Generally speaking, of course, they could grow and change and evolve. Oh, one more thing too. I have an idea that it's not completely formed yet, but I don't know if y'all know, but I do have a gaming channel that I do with my husband. It's called Rogue Alchemist, and we play a lot of Minecraft. I do a little Stardew Valley. We do a few other little things, but it's predominantly Minecraft. So what I would love to do this year is to pull my cross-stitching into Minecraft somehow. Not quite exactly sure how I'm going to do it. Whether that be doing pixel art of the cross-stitch projects, because I mean, come on, you look at a chart, it is ultimately pixels, and I could create some of the cross-stitch pieces pixel by pixel, color by color in Minecraft, which would be so cool. That would be amazing. Like, I could literally make a map of it and then put it up as a piece of art. I could. That would be very tedious in Minecraft, but I could do it. I'm thinking about, though, is recreating like a scene, and I'm kind of thinking winter bonfire night. So I'm going to let that ruminate a little bit more. I don't know when I'm going to do it, but I would expect to see that sometime in 2026 in this year, and I will, of course, let y'all know. And of course, let you know what episode. So that way you can see and enjoy that. Everyone, that is my plans for 2026. So far, my general plans. Of course, they are subject to change and evolve. But you know, such as it is, like we never have the same plans in January or in December that we do in January. So to speak. But thank you so much for being here. Y'all are absolutely amazing. If you have made it this far, please put fireworks in the comments below. Remember, my cottage is always open, and I will see you in the next stitchy video. Bye-bye. Happy stitching.